Good afternoon. How are you doing today? It's Lana, and I am tapping in to your vulnerabilities. What is it about people that you may find that you resist? This is a lesson in tolerance and compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. So, when someone rubs you the wrong way, you have to step back and observe, where is this coming from? What is this bringing up inside of me? Have I myself had the same behavior? And is it embarrassing to admit? I'm going to tell you, if you can sit with this and actually ask yourself these questions and not get too involved in the emotions of the ego that wants to say, we're never like that, that's not us, not who we are, we don't think like that, we don't behave like that. It's going to be extremely humbling because you're going to feel uncomfortable. See, when you sit with yourself and actually ask yourself what it is you're feeling, where it's originating, that means you have to confront your past and who you are and where you've come from. So the other day I was able to sit and I was reminded how sometimes people become a little too friendly with me at first. And I normally am pretty easygoing and I can connect with people, and sometimes I feel like I've known that person forever and we both have that mutual, oh yeah, we jive, we connect well. And then there's somebody who comes in, they think they jive real well with me, and I'm like, wait a minute here, you just met me. It's an interesting dynamic. And I reminded myself the reason there's no surprise that we're able to feel a certain way because it's based on what it's triggering still inside of us that hasn't been resolved, confronted, and healed. So I had to sit with this, and I had a little bit more of an epiphany this morning about it because it got a little deeper. But as I reminded myself, just reflecting, that it really boils down to people try too hard sometimes. And it's only because they want to connect. They want to feel that security of another person who accepts them for who they are. They want to feel ultimately love. And that's what love encompasses. It's that human connection. It's that vulnerability of being accepted for who you are, the courage that it takes to embrace someone despite all of their quirks. And when you feel vulnerable, you feel insecure, right? So when a person feels too needy to you and you're rejecting them, you have to stop and go, wait a minute. Why am I rejecting someone who clearly needs it the most? That's the big one. So we notice someone's trying too hard and we actually reject them for trying to be accepted. That's quite humbling, and it makes you recognize there's no compassion in that, especially for yourself, because what it's bringing up for you is that feeling that you felt at some point in your life where you wanted to be accepted. Maybe you tried too hard. Maybe you overdid it. You talked too much. You were just too excited. But you weren't accepted. And that's how I had to reflect upon it, because I went back to my past and experiences where I know I was a little needy. I think we all are at some point in our life. We want to be connected. And I would try too hard. I would say things to try to get that connection. I would behave a certain way that I thought that would help. Sometimes it's almost like what do they call it? Leukoplakia of the mouth, when you just shouting off stuff to get attention, and even if it's a rise out of someone. I would do that. But I also remember what it felt like when I walked away and I didn't feel like I connected. I felt rejected. That feeling, that pain, that hurt. Because I felt I was a little vulnerable, but I was insecure too. So on the one token, if you're the needy person, and you can see this in yourself, pay attention. Are you insecure? that other person necessary to make you feel better about who you are, because there's a codependency that goes on. So as the needy person, you may be the one who is overdoing things, and you may need to step back and go, whoa, wait a minute, I need to be more secure in who I am and be who I am, and not be overly anxious and trying to please everyone. And then the people who are actually in that environment around someone that feels needy, accept them and embrace them. It doesn't mean you have to enable certain behaviors, but just being the witness and being able to just go, wow, I get it. That person just really wants to be embraced. They want to feel accepted and belong, because we've all been there. And the resistance to that person, that rejection of the person, isn't going to help you any more than it's going to help them. And you may even be able to open a dialogue about it. Take them aside and even say, hey, is everything going all right with you? You seem a little unstable. Something seems, yeah. I really have more compassion recognizing this, especially because we need to meet everybody where they're at. We can't flip a switch and expect that somebody is going to get it right away and be the way we want them to be. As I said in my video last night, we have to come into that space of allowing people to be vulnerable with where they're at and just accepting them for that point, that place. So ultimately, this is just a mirror of our own vulnerable self. When somebody else is too needy, we're seeing when we resist that is something deep within us we're resisting. So it teaches us where we're at with ourselves. Anytime a trigger comes up like that, it's an opportunity for growth for yourself, because you can tap into what it is that's going on within you. Anything that enrages and brings up extreme emotions is ultimately giving you that opportunity for growth. To sit with it, heal it, accept it, and let it pass through. Energy in motion has to stay in motion. So I wanted to laugh about something that also popped into my memories, just for a little joke and laugh of everybody, because we're all human. And please share after I share this. I want someone else to share one of their stories, because this is my inner child sharing a moment. So I sucked my thumb until at least the age of 12. And I can look back on that. Yes, I laugh about it now. But I wasn't aware as a child that that was a behavior to feel secure. Now, I always had what I called a biddy, which was something I held on to while I sucked my thumb. And my dad will tell you he was always looking for his fresh, clean undershirts, the white ones, out fresh of the dryer. Those were what I always grabbed, because it was warm and it had my dad's scent on it. And because I wanted to be closer to my dad. And when you can look back with compassion for that young child that was in pain, I love my dad, and I'm much closer now than I ever was. But back then, that young child in me wanted some connection, wanted the opportunity to be closer. And a t-shirt that had his smell held up to my nose, that smell is still familiar to me. It still lingers. I can pull that in a heartbeat. And the irony in all of that, another thing that would give me attention, is when I'd hear my dad, "Where are my undershirts?" It kind of made me chuckle as a child. It was playful too, because guess what? That meant I was going to get attention. Because Dad's looking for his undershirt. And I got one. At least one. So please share any of your vulnerable moments. And I doubt I'm the only one who sucked their thumb when they were a kid. or had a biddy, or some teddy bear. I had a koala bear that I used to chew on the plastic claws that it had. And the next time that you greet somebody, you meet them, and they feel a little bit needy to you, remember what it was like for you when you wanted to connect with somebody. And greet them with compassion and love where they're at. I send you my love, many blessings. Have the most amazing Sunday. Enjoy.